Well, what it means to Muslims is one of the many ways that we seek out and celebrate of recognizing and giving thanks for Allah's blessings. The ulama say, al-ihtifalu bi dhikri ni'ami wajib. It's an obligation to celebrate the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has showered upon us. The Quran is full of the ayat of Allah, the ayat which are the colours, our languages, the difference of male and female, the beauties that Allah has created in the natural world. We're not just told about that out of idle curiosity on our part, but because it instills the shukr of the gratitude which is the basis for Iman. And He is a ni'matul kubra, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He's the greatest blessing. So if we're not going to give thanks for Him and for the time when He came into the world, then the whole principle of shukr has been devalued and misunderstood. So for Muslims, it's a fundamental way of expressing our gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for rescuing us from the mess that humanity regularly gets itself into. What we need is to go back to the basis, and the basis is the fact that the fossil, the dividing line between kufr and iman is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And but for him, and but for the time when he came into the world, and but for his seerah, we would all be down the pub or who knows what. So really everything that's inshaAllah good and righteous in our lives is thanks to him. And he is thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he is just abd, he's just a slave. And ma yantiqu anil hawa, he doesn't just say things that he's made up, he relays it from his Lord. So that's the greatest blessing, an-ni'matul kubra. And the instinct of every believer, and really the yardstick of the presence of real faith, is the desire to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that great interruption in history when the Jahiliyyah came to a close and the light of faith began. If we don't give thanks for that in every possible lawful means, then what's the meaning of shukr? Well, the purpose of the MAWLID cannot be different from the single purpose which underlies every other institution that is accepted by the ulama of Islam, which is to turn us away from the self and towards the Lord. If something doesn't do that, it's not worth doing, and it's not a permissible practice. It may be mubah at best, but it can't be anything more than that. The MAWLID is required because it is a demonstrably effective way of melting hearts, of reconnecting people with the seerah, of bringing about a genuine sense of connectedness with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Khulafa and the early generations, and of reminding us of this great blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has conferred upon humanity and upon this ummah, particularly through his ba'atha, through his sending. So that's the purpose. The purpose is the only religious purpose, which is to take us away from self and towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through remembering the individual who represents that process more perfectly than any other individual in history. That's what it's for. And so many hearts have been melted, even in very unexpected quarters, from people simply reading the seerah, listening to songs and poems of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The MAWLID exists only for one Sharia purpose, which is to increase people's love for the Messenger. That's what it's for. It's not just an opportunity to hang out with friends. It's a very serious business, because it is the continuation of the spirit of prophecy, which is taking people out of ignorance into truth. So it's a sugared pill, but the pill is the hard one of we have to sort ourselves out, and sorting ourselves out is the process of stripping away our own patterns of behaviour, which are based on nafs and ego and dark things, and conforming ourselves to the highest model, which is the model of the Khair al-Bariyah, the best of humanity, which is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That, of course, is difficult. Following the Sunnah, conforming, taslim, is not an easy thing, and it's not supposed to be an easy thing. But nonetheless, we sugar that pill, because humanity needs the carrot, needs to be drawn in because of what we're like. We're like donkeys that need luring with something beautiful. And the beauty is authentic, because it's based on the shukr and based on the jamal, the beauty of the Mustafa, the chosen one, sallallahu alaihi wasallam.